Cocktails and content resumes in 1 minute.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? It is 8 o'clock on a Thursday evening, and it is time for content and cocktails. The last ever. Can you believe it? The last ever content and cocktails. I thought thank you, Scott. I thought I'd go with a bit of a BBC style intro sequence. I made that a long time ago, and I used it in the first year, and I thought it's time for it'll ride again. Hello, Mike. How you doing? Hello, Andy. Hello, Liz. Yeah. Right. So what's all this about then? Why is this the last one? Well, we'll get onto that in a bit. But what we're going to do this evening is we're going to have a sort of a little bit of a walk down memory lane. I guess it's Janelle, 3 p.m. East Coast. Well, it is lovely to have you here. Lovely to have you here. This evening, content and cocktails is kind of it's coming to a close. It is the last ever one, and we will answer the question why in a bit. But I will just sort of start with a little bit of a walk down memory lane. Why did this begin? So, back in 2019. I had a conversation with Danny Wallace and had a conversation with Una, and we decided that we, in order to sort of increase my visibility and start to get people to understand what it is that I knew about the world, that I would do a regular weekly show. And the idea we cooked up with content and cocktails, and it was all around this little book. This little book. I've taken the fly sheet off. 100 Cocktails by Bernard, and this was a little cocktail book. Many of you will have heard this story many times, but this sort of provided the structure for the whole thing, and we have worked our way quite religiously through this book. We've actually had, bar a few of the more not disgusting non-alcoholic ones, all of the cocktails, all bar one that I've been saving for this moment. Mike says, the last one, it'll be a saber bottle of bubbly or a dirty brown cocktail. Well, Mike, given that it's coming from the final stage of Bernard, you know that it's going to be an unpleasant cocktail from Bernard. So we start off with the cocktail, but what I realize I've done, I'm going to have to just nip out the room for just 1 second, because I have left a very important part of this cocktail in the kitchen. Hold your horses for 1 minute. So we have all the pieces of the puzzle. So we're going for what is called a 0 hour, and I'll read the recipe to you in case you want to drink along with Tom. However, you're going to possibly regret it if you do decide to. One, because you may well not have any of the pieces of this particular puzzle, and it is a little bit of a puzzle. But oh my God, I can't find it now. But you'll hear you'll hear in a second why we are perhaps we've been leaving this one to the end, the bitter end. Come on, there we go. This is called the 0 hour. I'll get the sword out in a minute, Andy. I'm not going to need it tonight. It's not that kind of evening. I'll tell you what I will do though, Andy. I'll bring it along to the retreat, and we can open some bottles of fizz that way. So we'll get onto the cocktail in a second, but I will say that before we start, my Video Academy course is open. It is going to be we're running 10 days of sales and then starting the course. It is open. There are some really good deals. I've got some great payment plans, and the retreat is also included. So if you buy the retreat, and you can buy it on a 12-month payment plan, you are able to come along not only to the retreat, but you also get the Video Academy course. And I'll talk about that in a bit. But for now, we need to get our cocktail game a-going. So the 0 hour. 2 dashes of absinthe. 2 dashes of mint cordial. It's off to a pretty revolting start already, isn't it? A measure of brandy. Got a brandy. Half measure of apricot brandy. And an olive. It sounds absolutely revolting. So we'll put this horror together, and we'll see what happens. I'll either spontaneously combust and vomit everywhere from its absolute disgustingness. So what does it say to do? The shaker is half filled with broken ice and the brandy added. Yeah, Liz says I've got the absinthe. I've got the another. I mean, we've had to get things in for this because it's yeah. This is like when you raid your mum's drinks cabinet. Yeah, exactly. It is. I think Bernard got to the end of her 100 cocktails and thought, you know what? We're just going to put something in. No one's ever going to get this far, and if they do, we're going to reward them not with a tasty drink, but with one that is absolutely minging. Well, you're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this, then, Janelle. So we've got the ice and we've got the brandy. Let's put our measure of brandy in. Yeah. So Content of Cocktails has been going since 2019, 4 years, and that's 200 plus cocktails. And I ran my challenge week last week, and it's all around live video. And as I was doing it, something kind of really sort of struck home very much that the Content of Cocktails thing feels like it sort of belongs to the COVID era in a funny way. It's kind of got a slightly lockdown vibe to it, which isn't bad, but I think we've all sort of moved on from there. And actually, I've got some lovely ideas I want to share. It's something I've actually been wanting to do for a while. These comments are great. Mike says, for safety reasons, is this why it's the last recipe? Is this how Bernard died? We'll never know, will we? But hopefully this isn't my last content. Hopefully this is my last Content of Cocktails, but not my last ever cocktail. So that's the brandy and the apricot brandy. And what have we got next? The dash of peppermint. You see, for me, it's the peppermint that is potentially the biggest problem. It just, yeah, I don't see how that's gonna work. Bring it on, baby. How are you? Don't blame me, Joe. Blame Bernard. This is all Bernard's fault. Right, so we shake this up. Shake well and pass through a strainer into a cocktail glass. I will. Right. I mean, it's already, Mike, you'll be pleased to know it's already looking quite brown. Andy Jacobs says, I have to say, this one sounds a bit headachy. I think that's underselling it a bit, Andy. It sounds a bit disgusting, doesn't it? You know how they say absence makes the tongue go. Well, yeah. So thank you. I certainly shall. Let me just check to see if my oh, it's working on LinkedIn this week. Okay, so absent makes the tongue go chunder. So I have a very vivid memory of being at university and coming back. So I'd been away for the weekend, and some friends I was living with. My friend Will Shaw, who is now, I believe, head of fundraising and director of charitable giving for the National Gallery, had some friends over, and had him and two other guys had consumed the best part of 2 bottles of absinthe together. And I have to say, the kitchen was a bit of a mess. It was one of the more upsetting things I've ever seen, you know, the sort of last days of Rome look about it. So, you know, that's the kind of caliber of the National Gallery is looking for, clearly. And then we got the dash of absinthe on top. You see, I don't see how the absinthe's going to make this work. I am very uncertain about this one. God, it smells. I tell you what, it's sort of got a heavily medicinal smell to it. Hello, Ruth. How are you doing? It's Ruth the winner. Ruth the winner, and Ruth the member of Video Academy. Ruth is a joiner. Ruth is a doer. Ruth is going to master live video content with me over the next few months. Oh, I'm trying to catch an olive. So here's the 0 hour. It's got a certain retro charm to it. So I have to say it smells a little bit horrible is the word I'd use. That's like Janelle says, the mint and the absinthe do sort of give it quite a heavily medicinal flavour. As Mark says, it's another sort of murky dishwater Bernard cocktail. I mean, they all come out roughly looking the same sort of same colour, but they all do a very, very similar job. You mean I do mean rank. You know what? Despite all of the nonsense, that actually tastes against the odds all right. I am absolutely shocked. No, that's not just all right. That's actually good. Yeah. You could knock me down with a feather. That was not what I was expecting. That is astonishingly a bit quite a surprise. Yeah, it is. It's a grower. Yeah, I don't want "it's a grower" to be my last words. Okay, not bad at all. I was very, very suspicious. So, how good is that? That's really nice. I like that a lot. That is colour me surprised, because that was not what I was expecting. So we've been through all of these cocktails over the years, and now officially we have now done it. The cycle is now complete. The sort of Bernard is now going to rise from the dead. I've completed the spells in the book, and it's kind of, you know, Bernard is rising again to bring us more cocktails, 100 more cocktails. Somebody says I'm sticking to my 0% Guinness. Well, that is probably very sensible. It is quite sensible. And who is this who's sticking to their 0% Guinness? Who's being Scott? Oh, hang on. You were. Oh, that's weird. You were. There we go. Scott. Yes. Okay. Well, I'll drink to you, Scott. Cheers. So, what am I following? What am I following this? What am I following up this content of cocktails nonsense with? Hello, Alex. Cheers. It's lovely to see you. What am I following this up with? I am doing a daily live. As of next week, we are starting. We're doing an early morning live, and it's going to be called One Good Thing. And the idea is that every day, 6 a.m., because I'm an early riser, I get up and I'm always up and around, and I'm pottering, and I really like being up early, and I wanted to do something that is a bit more kind of start of the day. This is, you know, content of cocktails is very much an end of the day thing. But I decided that what I wanted to do was to do 5 days a week. So weekdays at 6 a.m. I'm going to go live, and I'm going to share one thing that you can get done today around video making and marketing. And I'm going to bring on a guest, and that guest is going to share a tip for the day, something you can achieve that day, that morning. The idea being that as we sort of grow and expand, it will be a library of small, actionable things to do, a sort of a daily tactical hit. And so I really like I sort of like the idea of doing a daily show, because for a number of reasons. First of all, one, I sort of have to be seen to be doing it. This falls. I've shown how I can use this kind of once a week long form format to grow a business. Now what I wanted to do was go to the other end of the spectrum, slightly more higher intensity, but use it as a way to generate content for other platforms as well. So, you know, I sort of have to be seen to take my own medicine. I have to be seen because I do, you know, because of what I do. So the idea of one good thing, early means no. Yeah. So like I said, it is sort of the opposite of content and cocktails. But what I do like is, you know, I love my food, and it's going to be 20 minutes in length. It's going to be tight. It's going to be sort of well structured, because I went through my own process, and I've mapped it out. And I'm going to be interviewing people from all over the world for that tip. And some of those will be pre-records that will play. And then the idea is that is then a driver for content, because of each live, what I can do is I can take my tip and turn it into content for podcast, I can take the whole thing, turn it into content for YouTube and for podcast content, but I can also slice out the two tips, and, you know, the guest can use that on their channels as well, and I'll put my info on my channel. So, you know, the idea is it's a driver not only of visibility, but it's also a driver of kind of content. So it allows me to play the content game without, oh my God, you know, I think one of the things that sort of has been getting on my wick a little bit recently, I've been seeing a lot of people churning out a lot of content, and I'm thinking, who's watching this? Who is watching this stuff? And the truth is, not many people are watching sort of pre-recorded things and taking action, because I want people to be taking action on the content I put out there. I want people to be engaged with it and to take a step. So if I want daily content, I want to use my live video approach as the driver for that, and that's the approach that I'm taking. But also, yeah, Scott says you are. Scott, I always like it when I get people telling me I'm correct. It's a validating experience. But I think this is about the fact that there's a lot of content out there which is just white noise. It's kind of it sort of fills up the sort of, the digital airwaves, and we tune it out. We tune it out a lot of the time. So one good thing is the idea, we commit to do one good thing every day, and that could be a good thing for us. It could be a good thing for other people. Whatever that is, it's an idea that I can, I can take this, this. I'll come to your comment in a second, Scott. I can take this kind of process that I know works and use it as a way to drive things forward. But so I'm going for a very different look and feel. We're building a little set for it all, which will be quite, it'll be in this space, but it'll be a different look and feel, because I want this to feel like a sort of a break. I'm sort of currently building my my intro sequences and all that kind of jazz. So the idea is that it is something different, something quite that does quite a different job. I think it's quite I think it's the effort and energy that lots of people put into creating sort of these beautiful reels and all this stuff. So Sandra, thank you. You and of course you as a video academy and sort of go live to thrive alumnus, you'll be being put into the video academy cohort. So you're also in. Yeah, the social platforms don't help. And so I think for me, I've really determined that this is my focus. I've been helping people with their YouTube channels and sort of somewhat neglecting mine. So this is an attempt for me to build my YouTube channel up. So I'm going to be using the stream-based channels, the sort of Facebooks, the LinkedIn and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. They are going to be used to be the live content drivers. So that's where I'll be going, primarily going live. But YouTube will be my organic driver of traffic. So I'm going to use the YouTube search and the YouTube algorithms to my benefit to drive the right kind of traffic towards me. And so rather than sort of constantly cracking the handle on the media sausage machine, I will, we work smart, and that's the approach that we're going to be taking on Video Academy, building a live strategy out that feeds a very focused YouTube channel, and we are being very intentional with very clearly set goals and agendas, and that is how we use video to grow. So if anyone fancies joining me, I'm going to put a banner up. Oh, go on, let's do it. Hang on, I've got to set a banner up. It really is a bargain. It is. It's kind of almost too good it's too good a deal to pass up. Let me just pop this pop this in the comments. So if you fancy getting in on the action, banner. Create a banner. Scroll across the bottom. There we go. That's this is actually my boss. You'll be very pleased to know that I think I'm going to go for a second one. We're gonna hit a second one of these. Is it wise? Probably not. Is it going to happen? 100%. We're going in for number 2. Yeah, so that's the possibly, who knows, possibly. I feel it's the last one. I should go out with a bang. I love the fact that I'm being egged on. Living on the edge. Yeah, I definitely feel a little bit more like what's his face in the last one, a bit knackered, a bit beaten up, but still attempting to function broadly in the job that I do. Yeah, so we've got, what have we got? We've got, oh, people are commenting over on LinkedIn. Have I seen Arthur? Yeah, thanks, Scott. Let's not go down that particular route, shall we? Thank you. Yeah, no, I think the I am feeling more relaxed. I think it's funny, you know, the choice to let go of this has been, it's been a long time coming, actually, and I think kind of you should only do these things as long as they feel right, and I think it stopped feeling right a little while ago, and I sort of didn't want to admit to myself I felt quite sort of attached to it all, and it was only doing my own challenge. I sort of, because I always do my own challenge as I go along. If I'm delivering it, it's always worthwhile. It's always worthwhile revisiting that stuff. So in the act of revisiting it, I sort of was able to let go of these things I'd sort of been holding on a little bit closely to. Yeah, I was going to say, Scott, I think you've been through a similar journey. You know, this stuff served its purpose at the time, and you come to a point and there feels like there is a natural end, and you perhaps, you know, there's a time to let these things go, much like the X-Files. You know, it should have stopped ages ago, but you know, people keep on wanting more of it. You know, it had its heyday. But no, it's that sort of decision that actually what comes next. How do we make what comes next even better from all the things we've learnt? Yeah, Scott says after season 4. Indeed. God, yes. So it does feel relaxed. It does feel relaxed. I think I think what I've decided as well to do. So Content of Cocktails will live on. But it is going to live on probably as live events. So I was thinking that in the autumn and winter, it might be quite nice to sort of hire a venue and have a sort of a day of delicious food and drink and people speaking around and bringing people to speak on content creation subjects. So that's something that I'm sort of, it's in its very sort of nascent stage at the moment as an idea, but it is something that we've been chewing over for a while, and I think now feels like the right time to have a look at it. So yeah, it won't be entirely disappearing. It'll be morphing into something a little bit more kind of a little bit more kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, well, a live event, and I think it sort of suits the mood a bit more. Maybe a tad more sophisticated, perhaps, than just watching a middle-aged man publicly drink whilst hearing him spout stuff about video. Oh, Sandra, you know what? It will be so lovely to meet up in person. Oh God, that would be amazing. Wouldn't that be fabulous? Well, look, you're going to need to let us know when you're going to be in the UK, Janelle, and I will organise a content to cocktails to coincide with your travels. Wouldn't that be awesome? Andy, ooh, nice. Critical Duck, cheers, enjoy. What a great, yeah. Well, this is it. It offers up an opportunity to get together in real life and have a bit of a chin wag about this. Oh, we've got our mystery Twitch viewer as well. Who is this? Who is our Twitch viewer? Reveal yourself. Yeah, it would be lovely. That'd be fabulous. So, yeah. I'm going to talk about what I've got on at the moment, actually, a little bit more precisely. So, okay, that's the future. What's on at the moment? So, Video Academy is launched. There are lots of people who've jumped in on it, which is very exciting. When I say lots of it, it's not like it's not like sort of 1,500 people joining for Lisa's course, which is fabulous. But I think that would just be completely overwhelming for me. I like to sort of factor in the fact that I am one person. but anyone, so I'll remind you, anyone who has done Video Academy or Go Live to Thrive or YouTube Kickstart is able to join the course, because my approach is that if you join me on my courses, you get the kind of, on my sort of big group coaching stuff, you get to come in on the ride forever. You get grandfathered into stuff as it goes along, which I've been told is a bit of a stupid way to do it. I thought you were going to. Oh my God, Liz! I am wearing a very exclusive H&M white linen shirt and some H&M shorts. That's and obviously glasses and pants and all the things you'd expect. So it is designer clothes and I remember going to Florence. And the Italian family that I was staying with took me to the Dolce & Gabbana shop, and I got some trousers. I've never felt either one more stupid or two more guilty about buying something. I was like, trousers. I was like, they're just khaki. They're khakis. Paying. And it was when I was at university. And I bought them and I thought, oh, they look great, but I felt a bit ill. I'm quite happy to spend on other fripperies and luxuries, but sort of designer gear always leaves me feeling a little bit stupid. So there you go. Well, that's very kind and probably a little bit overstating things. Now that's really interesting, Scott. And that doesn't, yeah. I mean, I imagine that was amazing. I remember because you sold a whole bunch of tickets for you, didn't it? Because Scott has got this enormous music group for I believe it's kind of based on a sort of a now defunct. That was it, Luca. I love it. Ciao, Luca, Nico, and Luca. This has made my evening. Nico and Luca are from near to Siena, and not at the right. Where are you guys? Where do you both live? Obviously, there were, and I needed to improve my Italian because I was going to Venice in my final year, and it's really pleased me. And I went and we sort of organised this exchange. I can't remember how that happened, but I went and stayed with them for, was it 3 weeks? I think I was with you for 3 weeks. A beautiful house in this village called Bertolo, which was, well, what kind of I can't remember. It was very close to Siena, and it was just the most glorious time. It was over Easter, and I was given just the world's most wonderful experience. And I practically didn't say a word for the first like for the first 2 weeks. But then I basically came back from Italy and realized I was like, oh, I know loads of Italian. And I went and had my exam at university, and my Italian teacher said, what's happened? I said, well, I've just been in Italy for 3 weeks, having people talk to me. But it was one of those truly lovely experiences. And then you came back 1999. I know, absolutely incredible. In fact, I'm going to find that photograph because it was 1999, if you can believe it. Absolute vintage year. Where is that photograph? Your photos. There we go. That's it. I'll show the screen. You're going to see something that's many have heard about, but not many believe. It's a Tom Stanhope with hair. Look at that. Tom Stanhope with hair, standing on the steps of which is that Florence or is that Siena? I think it's that. If my memory serves me, that was. It probably doesn't serve me well, does it? Yeah. There I am. Look, I had a bad sort of floppy Stephen Fry haircut. I didn't really know. I was not a person who was ever really destined to have hair. It was kind of that was the enjoyment of Siena. Yeah. And it's glorious. It was such a perfect time, and it does feel like a million years ago. But I was given the full sort of experience. Yeah, it was great. And then they came back over and sort of stayed with us in sort of deepest, darkest Worcestershire, and it was it was great. It was really good. So that is it's true. When I had it, I didn't know what to do with it. I was like, now I look back and go, I sort of, I went Jean-Luc Picard fairly early on. Sort of as soon as it became obvious that it wasn't meant to, that was that. I was like, right, it's gone. I don't need it. Do we have a second one? I think I might have a second one. Yes, I might have a second one of these. It's actually far nicer than it had any right to be. I was fully expecting that to be an absolutely disgusting cocktail, but yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So the new live show is going to be, it's I'm feeling very excited about it because it feels like a new adventure. And I know, people like Danny Wallace do their daily live, and it's, there's some shared DNA there in terms of the structure of the show, but I think that's okay. There's lots of different voices and lots of different sort of ways of approaching things, and I think I'm excited. In fact, I'd like to have Danny on the show. Actually, I've got some return visits to sort of to kind of give her. Although she's way bigger than me now. She's like, she's a celebrity. She's got her she's got her sort of international. She's got her. I believe she's been up in Newcastle speaking at Atomicon, which I quite fancy the idea of going to, but it is about a million miles away from Plymouth, as most things are, to be honest. Yeah, I'm feeling a nice. I'm assuming it's been a very warm day with you, but it's been a scorcher down here in Devon, as you kind of expect. Okay, so I was going to start talking about Video Academy. So, for those of you who are considering Video Academy, And there are plenty of people out there who I'm having conversations with who are either looking at just doing the course or doing the course and the retreat. Why bother doing it? Why bother doing it? Well, it is ultimately about growing your business. Liz, as always, it has been a pleasure having you here as part of the regular crew. Happy last episode. Thank you. It's been good fun, and it's only been fun because of everybody else. Actually, you know, I can sit here getting slowly pissed talking about video, but it's only kind of it's only fun if there are nice people to talk to as well. So thank you. Shut up, dear. Yeah, it's about overcoming your fear of video. Yes, I mean a lot of us don't like video. A lot of us don't like video, but it's about overcoming that, not just overcoming that, because we can, contrary to sort of popular belief, we can overcome that fear quite easily. And that's a great place to start. In fact, that is the fundamental place to start. You have to get over this idea that video is for other people. And once you've done that, it's like, okay, what are you going to do with it? And that's really what Video Academy is about. It's about taking this desire to be seen and the desire to sell, desire to grow your business, a desire to work with people that inspire you, and take that and run with it and run hard and find the people who are going to be your raving fans and talk to them and share things with them and take them on a journey, and then they become your it's Christine. You help me love being in front of you. Well, that's very kind, Christine. And I think to describe you as somebody who didn't, you know, Christine Marsh is somebody I've known for many, many years, and is a great friend as well as a fabulous client. And her presence on camera is splendid and very, you know, if I could bottle that and sell it, I would, you know, we'd all be very, very rich. Sandra, good. Well, this is it. You know, we've got powerful things to share. So let's get out there and share them and inspire people and work with the people that sort of light our fires and all that kind of jazz. Right. Cheers. We're into the danger zone. It's number 2. I'm astonished. That is way better than it has any right to be. Isn't that weird? And I look back at last year. So last year was a difficult year for me. Cheers. It's been, as always, Janelle, it's been fabulous having you along for the ride. And yeah, look out for the daily show. Obviously, it's not called that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to starting that. Yeah, last year was a complicated year for lots of different reasons. And you know, addressing some fairly deeply rooted personal skeletons in my particular personal history cupboard, which is, you know, things we all do, and the sort of the truth is, it's doors that have been shut for a very long time were opened, and I looked inside and went, oh God, I've got to deal with it. And so a lot of last year was really me kind of unpicking some pretty, or at least starting to unpick, or at least looking at the problem and going, I should do something about that, and not just closing the door on it. And that sort of really helped a huge amount, and I sort of was able to proceed from there onwards. And so I feel that this year, the first 6 months of this year, has been all about just kind of rebuilding regaining my confidence and regaining my mojo, which I feel I've got. And I've had support with some fabulous people, and in fact, obviously, the well, I'm being a bit vague here, but it's kind of stuff that I'm not quite ready to sort of talk about publicly yet, but probably will at some point, just because I think it might help some other people. But if that all sounds a bit vague and a bit kind of woolly, then I'm sorry. I don't what I'm not looking for is the "you okay, hun" kind of situation, which is like, oh, it's been a difficult day today. You okay, hun? No, I'm not looking for that. But it's one of those things that sort of you have to there'll be a right time, and I'm sort of okay with that. But it is this year is I've just felt very different, a very different person, and it's sort of it feels great. It feels good. Shall we all we all need to take a deep breath. I think we all have to stopping last year, stopping and just kind of taking a deep breath and going, okay, I've got to move. I've got to keep moving. I've got to keep the show rolling. And when you make those kind of those steps towards healing, I guess, or at least starting to heal, you kind of, it sort of liberates other parts of your other sort of reserves within you. And so I feel like I'm much more my old self this year, which is great. I used to feel like a lucky person. My friends used to call me Lucky Tom. You lucky bastard, they'd say. And I felt like I'd lost that, and I feel like I've regained it now. I feel good. So this year I'm really looking forward to seeing where it all goes. And so I've got so every Monday and Friday I'm sort of meeting up with Chantal Davison. We have a sort of a call, and we're doing a bit of a sort of business development buddying up, and we've got a few exciting things cooking on the hob. Una's just about to start a new job, which is really cool. So she's working for a really interesting charity based up in Oxford. So she's up there a few times a month, and which is exciting. And I'm sort of, I feel like that I've got a business which is really inspiring me again, and I'm really looking forward to being this sort of the exciting we've got, oh man, this is driving me nuts. I'm hard plugged in to the router here. It's the internet connection has been driving me mad all day. So we've got exciting things to come this year. So we have all sorts to look forward to, and I think sort of sharing the journey going forward in this daily show, in the kind of One Good Thing live, is something which will hopefully give a bit more insight into the journey that I'm taking, but also hopefully a bit of inspiration, because one of the things that's happened this year is I had an operation that I've been waiting for ages, and it sort of dealt with a really unpleasant sort of low-lying infection that's been just sort of rumbling on for the best part of 5 years. And for the first, literally this month, for the first time in 5 years, I'm feeling like I've got energy. I'm feeling great. So it feels like I'm sorting out health and all sorts of things at the same time. So without wanting to get too confessional, and content and cocktails always has the potential to go down slightly more confessional routes. Hey, it is Danny Wallace herself. Thank you. Well, I raise a glass to you because Danny was one of the primary catalysts for this nonsense starting, in the best possible sense. But yeah, so the daily show is starting, and I would love for you to be a guest on it, Danny, because I know we've kind of, our paths started at a similar stage, and mine's been a little bit more meandering. But I'm sort of on a route I'm excited about again, and I think you kind of, yeah, it would be lovely to sort of to catch up. But yeah, Content Cocktails always has the capacity to become a little bit more confessional than perhaps it's entirely wise, but that is the tongue loosening power of very strong liquor, I guess. But from a video point of view, if we change it. If we bring this to the natural conclusion of this, so Content and Cocktails ending actually is going to be, so I'm going to be knocking the booze on the head for quite a while, because I feel like Content and Cocktails was one of these things that I sort of used perhaps as a little excuse to sort of indulge a little bit more heavily than perhaps I should. So I think there's not only a marketing reason to have a reboot, but there's also perhaps a health reason to do that. So it is. There are many reasons why this kind of full stop is happening, but all I can say is thank you so much for everybody who's been here along this journey and here supporting this this weekly live, because it has been transformative, and it's done great things for my business, and it's why I will continue doing the live content, and it's why I'm ramping up the live content, because it works. It's a visibility strategy and sort of tactic that is profoundly transformative potentially for your business, but you have to do it in a structured way. And I'd sort of seen my Content and Cocktail structure start to degrade, and so that was the point when I knew it had to change. So there we go. Look, I am going to sign off now, because we've almost had an hour of this, and I could literally sit here and just blether on. Yeah. Thank you. That's really, really kind. Yes, it is. You know what? I look back to those kind of lockdown years, and I sort of have a weird nostalgia for them. If that sort of makes any sense. It was both simultaneously a very complicated and obviously hugely damaging time, but also there was a sort of simplicity. A simplicity to it all, which was very kind of comforting. You sort of knew what the parameters of existence were a little bit more clearly, and me turning, and I could sort of logistically turning up on Thursday to have a cocktail and chat about video was kind of part of that sort of 2020 2021 feel. And it's time to mothball this, like I say, not completely gone, but will live on in live events. So I raise my glass to you, my cocktail-filled glass, and say thank you so much for being part of this journey. It is hugely appreciated. I will see you next week for the first ever daily live, the kind of one good thing shared a day. That's what we're doing. But yeah, that's it. I will see you on the other side. Tom, over and out.